Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis. Although most of the cars I source are between £1,000 and £5,000, very often I've been asked to show something a little bit cheaper on the channel, and so I came up with No Budget Reviews, the series where we look at cars that you can buy in good condition with an MOT for under £1,000 and you can enjoy driving. We don't film this in an expensive manner, we don't use separate microphones, we don't use dual head tripods, we don't even use a DSLR, but we do have a lot of fun. Back in 2020, I drove a really long way, all the way up to Milnthorpe in Cumbria to film a 2007 Honda Jazz 1.4, I think it's called an i-DSI CVT. That turned out to be the best received review I've ever had on the channel. I've had 33,000 views. I still can't work out why. The video's not actually that great in many ways, but you all seem to like it, and so I was recently offered another one. This is a 2006 Honda Jazz 1.4 i-DSI Sport, but it has a manual gearbox. It shouldn't say SE on the back there, that's probably been added later. This car has done a few more miles than the last one. It's done about 150,000 miles. We've also got some extras on here, like the parking sensors on the back. I don't know if those are original or not. The car is showing a little bit of sort of signs of age. That's a really common problem on them like this. Someone's had a go at repairing this arch in the past, but you know, it's good that we can sort of see things like this, and so you're aware of what to look for when you're actually buying one of these. The other problem, apart from the rust, which you can also see on this side, is catalytic converter theft, which is a real shame actually. These are targeted by thieves. In fact, the car that I drove, which was I think MT56, registration started back in 2020, that had its cat stolen. You can still buy a Honda Jazz of this generation. It's actually a Mark II rather than a Mark I, because there was a Honda City marketed as the Jazz on the European market in the 1980s. You can still pick one of these up for under £1,000. I did check last night and there was one for 900 on Auto Trader, but wasn't even a write-off or anything. I think it was one for 700 actually. If you want one that's as nice as the car that you would have seen in review in 2020, you're going to pay a bit more than that though. So one of the main plus points of the car is the space, and it's a very impressively sized boot. I think it's a fair bit bigger than actually cars like the Mark IV Polo and the Mark VI Fiesta that I've also had on the channel since then. Got a space saver spare wheel on the back of this one. Obviously there's some sort of leak going on here, which isn't too good. Never mind though. Let's put this cover back. It's very unusual for a Super Mini to have a cover like this. Very unusual. It's normally just a parcel shelf, but this has got a load blind, which is good. You've got a little handle here for pulling down. So one of the main things about these cars is the magic seats. See if we can demonstrate this with one hand. It might be a little bit difficult. There we go. And you can just put that down, that locks it into place. So if you've got, for example, a very tall plant that you're bringing home from the garden centre or something like that, then you can actually have it in there. Now the seats do fold down as well. We'll just put that one, there we go. You've got to take the headrest off to actually fold the seat forward, but you can do it. Also got this here where you can adjust the angle of that for some reason as well. But if that, in my driving position, I'm about 5'11" or so, it's very easy to get in and out of these cars. It's incredibly easy. If you've got mobility issues or something like that, then this will be perfect. And this one actually got a sunroof, which was an optional extra. which is even better. We might open that a little bit later. So this sport model has the rear electric windows. You've got the 3 seat belts across the back, one of which attaches up to the ceiling there. I don't know if you can actually, yes you can remove this kind of entirely by unbuckling sort of all this, and so you don't have to have that there all the time if you don't want it, if you're folding the seats. It's very clever the way actually that attaches there as well. Very, very airy cabin, and I'll open up that sunroof shade at least, just show just how airy they are. And loads of different spaces for storage. I mean, the feet go right underneath here. We've got the door pocket's quite big. But one thing I don't see is rear door bins. We've got an enormous central cubby there. That's absolutely huge, isn't it? Right, let's get into the front and have a look for some more storage solutions. Yeah, it's really easy to get in and out of this car. It's ever so easy. It's more like a sort of mini MPV, a bit like the Nissan Note or something like that, really, in some ways. You can't adjust the height of the driver's seat. It's reasonably comfortable though, nevertheless. One thing I really like, you just put the key in here on this car, is if you just shut the door a little bit this way. Be quiet, I need to demonstrate this. Thank you. The power folding mirrors. Excellent. Sorry about the background noise, by the way, viewers. Let's turn this off once we've actually checked the mileage. There we go, it's 149,000. So it lights up nicely, actually. It's more like a sort of Lexus of a period, kind of thing. So if I just leave the door like that, is it going to swing shut with me legging it? No, that's good. Okay. Ooh, wow, a aux port down here. That's handy, isn't it? And space for oddments. We've got cup holders here, which is good. These cars were also marketed in America, so I understand why they wanted cup holders. Huge, big armrests for all kinds of stuff in there. Now this car's actually got a huge glove box, although I don't think my emission documents are going to go in. I mean, they might do. I'll try. See if they go in there. Oh wow! Not only do they go in there, they go in there and here. Brilliant. And this sort of typical kind of early 2000s mini MPV type feel to this car, with little tiny windows in the A-pillars and the elongated dashboard. Unlike something like Toyota Yaris, we don't have a weird central instrument cluster. We've got a normal one here, which lights up more if you turn the key, and then we've got a very standard of the time stereo, which is very, very easy to use. The buttons are really, really big and all clear. This car's got climate control. It's only single zone, but that's still great for a little car like this. It's all very impressive, really. We even got a power shot driver's window and things like that. Electric mirrors, of course. There's a cubby under here as well, a bit like an old Austin 1100 or something like that. We've got a sort of shelf that runs almost the full width of the dash. Normal handbrake, of course, thank goodness. Stalks actually feel very nice for a car like this. The fog lights are bizarrely on sort of here. And then we've got the wiper stalk over here. Leather rim steering wheel. I will just adjust the height up a little bit because it's a little bit too low for me. But it's all very impressive, really. You see why these cars have actually risen in value considerably since I filmed the No Budget Reviews episode in 2020. So look at the engine. For once, viewers, I actually got it right. It is called the i-DSI engine, or the L series engine, this is also known as. So 1339cc in capacity, but marketed as a 1.4 in this country. Other countries market it as a 1.3. I really, really don't know why. Bizarre. Anyway, no cam belt to worry about. Unlike the last review I said, these do not have a timing belt. They are chain cam. They are also a twin spark engine, like the old Alpha twin sparks used to be, which is fascinating. I presume that means that the car is a bit more efficient, and you know, you can get 40 to 50 miles per gallon out of these relatively easily, particularly this manual version. I think the body kit does actually look quite nice. The cars without it don't look quite as nice as this, so if you want to go for a sport, then you can. That Type S badge, by the way, there is also off, I think, another type of Honda. That's a, later edition. it doesn't look too bad to work on them. The spark plugs in this are really, really difficult to get to. They're kind of down the back there. As you can see the core packs and things. I think they're core packs anyway, could be wrong. But yes, there we go. You shouldn't have to do too much in the way of unscheduled maintenance on these. Regular servicing is obviously, best for these of anything. But yeah, it's all very impressive, really. I think it's time to go for a drive, viewers. I'm afraid that I've lost my proper mount to make this video, and so I've got the old one that I used at the time of making the original jazz video in 2020. I have got a better camera though, but if this thing jiggles around a lot, I'm really sorry. So there were just 2 engines available in the Jazz for our market. There's this one, which is a 1.4 with 81 horsepower. It's actually closer in capacity to a 1.3 if it's 3039cc, but it was marketed as a 1.4. This engine's in the majority of UK market Jazzes. There was also 1.2 that was only available on the base model between 2004 and 2008, the S version. Before that, the S version had the same 1.4. I think the engine was slightly tweaked for the facelift in 2004, but otherwise they remained very similar. That engine's only available with a manual gearbox. You could get the 1.4 with either a CVT with 7 pre-programmed speed into it. Obviously CVT's totally infinite, but there were pre-programmed speed into it. Or the 5-speed manual. CVT we covered last time. It's actually not that bad as far as those go. But this 5-speed manual, something of a Honda speciality, is also pretty nice. 0 to 60 in this car is something like 12 seconds. It's not particularly fast, particularly when you're coming out of junctions, and very fast Audis are right behind you, so we're going to have to go a little bit faster than I otherwise would do. But it seems okay. I think one of the reasons why he is not very happy with me, because these cars just have this sort of image problem that a lot of Hondas had at the time, which is that they're only driven by very old people. And that's not really the case. I've seen all sorts of people drive these, but you know what happens with the stereotypes of things. The ride was criticised in these cars when they were new, being a little bit on the firm side, and yeah, it's not the softest ride I've ever come across, but actually compared with a lot of more modern cars, it is absolutely fine. I don't think the Sport necessarily got you any stiffer suspension. I think it just got you this kind of body kit. So I don't think there's any difference in the gearbox. There's certainly no difference in the engine. I don't think there's any difference in the damper rates or anything. But that's fine. The steering is actually very accurate. It's quite nice. It's actually a fair bit nicer than the car ever said it right to be. But that was the way the Honda used to engineer their cars, and I like it. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. So viewers, how do we sum up this Mark II Honda Jazz? Well, it's got the qualities that they always had. It's not a sports car. It doesn't handle like, I don't know, an EG Civic or something like that. It's far more oriented towards comfort. But if you do find yourself on a nice road like this one, it won't disgrace itself at all. The car was also known by other names, such as the City or the Honda Fit. The Fit was, I think, the most popular name around the world for this. But all over the place, in Japan, Thailand, China, all sorts of places. And actually we're doing 55, 60 miles an hour now, and it feels very stable. very composed. I think it's thanks to possibly the sort of wide track on this car, and also the fact that we've got some quite sort of wide alloy wheels on this for the time. But I really like it. Driving position's very good. The pedals are at a nice angle. Brakes feel good. So should you consider a Honda Jazz of this generation for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000, well, I don't see why not. If you can find one where it's not too rusty, it's been well looked after, and that you know, has the catalytic converter sort of, that is an actual problem with these, then why not? Going to be harder to find one for under £1,000. I'd suggest maybe something like £2,000 on one. The Sport maybe not to everyone's taste. The SE model is the most common one, and that is the one I would probably go for myself, unless I really wanted this body kit. You do get some very nice features from one of these things. The S model, the base one, maybe not so much. And I do like these little changes that they've kind of made for the facelift. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like to leave a comment below. Thank you to Shane, who's very kindly supplied me with this car for review today. And we shall see you again soon for more inexpensive motoring.